Years ago, in the French Chartreuse, the Purgatory Manuscript came into my hands, and also the Hell Manuscript, and I worked quietly upon them, translating them. And those months were moments of true encounter with the mystery of the beyond. So many things came through in the Purgatory Manuscript. The standards of heaven, especially for the consecrated, the glory of the priesthood, what is expected of the priest, and the purgatory that awaits both religious and priests in heaven on the other side, because of the vast number of graces that they have received and with which they were expected to cooperate. The standards of God do not change. We can be sure now that the Lord is not pleased with the way that standards seem to be lower with regard to what is expected both of priests and religious. When one goes to some places, one finds that it is à la mode to discard completely priestly garb and religious habits of any sort. One wonders what's going on there. The standards of God are unfathomable. One is surprised to see how demanding God is with regard to those consecrated to Him. The way that the Spirit of God is working in the hearts of Christian souls, trying to solicit their attention, trying to draw them to prayer and inspire good actions. But now it would seem that the souls out there are completely in a state of interior fog because of the large number of messages coming into them from all over the place, making it impossible for the Spirit of God to get through, because the Spirit of God desires stillness and wants a soul to be crystal clear, tranquil and untroubled. And when that Spirit finds only a huge number of syllables and messages, distractions and solicitations, worry and anxiety all over the soul and mind, he is frustrated, and his project of intimacy and sanctity cannot bring itself to completion, for the soul has been damaged. And in that general fog, it is easy to see how the souls can be orientated towards what is in society now acceptable and accepted, and indeed expected. And yet it is a nonsense. When it comes, for instance, to the worship of God, and we are trying to worship the one that is greater than ourselves, and yet doing so in disobedience to the expressed will of God in the church, and it's happening all over the place, then one sees that that absence of listening and reception is causing huge, huge damage. One needs to calm down and let God be God of the spiritual life. We cannot serve God with our own homegrown spirituality and think that we are authentically spiritual. God is God of all, and in His service He must be listened to, and not ourselves or others. I'm going to try and give you some understanding, says the soul, insofar as you can have an understanding on earth of what heaven is. It is a succession, an uninterrupted succession of feasts that are ever new, continuously new bliss that one has never, so it seems, hitherto felt. It's a torrent of joy that overflows without ceasing over all the elect. Heaven, it's God above all. God loved, God tasted, relished. It is, in a word, satiety of God. And yet without being satiated. And the more a soul has loved God upon earth, the closer she has come to the summit of perfection, the more too does she love God and comprehend him in heaven. Jesus is the true joy of earth and the eternal joy of the heavens. Years later I wrote this, reflecting on what I had learned from translating these two manuscripts. O thing that has no name, O mystery, beyond the yonder land, where all is well, or not so well, where ancient history is long in its unwriting. Heaven and hell, upon a moment pending, vending all in calling will that still could turn the tide of aeons ere they came, and ere went on upon a traced course, high bound and tied unto a distant second, ever gone. O thing without a name, whose fame is bright in regions where no sight may penetrate, I spent some moons a-roving in thy light, unveiled and hailed afar, for at this gate upon a manuscript I pored a while, and heard a noised land where demons smile. As for me, at the moment of my death, says the lost soul, I woke suddenly out of the fog and found myself as though flooded by a dazzling light. I was on the very spot on which my corpse was lying. It was as it happens in the theatre, when in one go all the lights go out, leaving nothing to be seen but the stage. The curtains separate with a great din and open on an unexpected scene, horribly luminous. The scene of my life. As though in a great mirror, my soul showed itself to itself. The graces burned from my early days right up to the last no in God's face.